Holidays at Hudson's, made possible in part by Henry Ford College Foundation, empowering students, expanding access, enriching our community. Rebel Nell, preserving Detroit history by creating jewelry from authentic Hudson's bags. Learn more at rebelnell.com. Central Michigan University, CMU, is the place to pursue your passion and prepare for your future. The Detroit Historical Society, which is proud to feature artifacts from Detroit's beloved department store at the Detroit Historical Museum. And by contributions to this PBS station by viewers like you. Thank you.
It was just a huge department store. It was wonderful at everything you can imagine. You didn't have to go any place other than J.L. Hudson because they sold everything.
If you were in New York, you went to Macy's. If you were in Chicago, you went to Marshall Field's. If you were in Detroit, you went to Hudson's. And a department store like Hudson's was actually a part of the community.
The sights and the sounds and the smells of Christmas at Hudson's was just phenomenal.
As soon as the decorations were up in downtown Detroit, we'd pile into my dad's car. Everything was an event and an experience walking into Hudson's.
The mammothnesss or the large size of the store when you'd walk through those front doors. For a little kid, that was a big deal, and I remember it almost kind of like it was yesterday.
We would go to the parade, then we would go to Hudson's. I remember being overwhelmed with all the people and with the incredible decorations.
The holidays at Hudson's would have been when my folks took me to the downtown store. And I was enthralled with the size of the store, you know, the window displays, the lights, the elevators.
It was just a sense of exhilaration. A minute ago, I was down on the street, I was in a big store, and now it was almost like walking through the gates of an amusement park.
But going into Hudson's was a treat. It was an experience. And I will never forget, you know, going in to shop for the very first time.
It was magical, just walking down the street up to Hudson's. We spent hours walking and just, you know, looking at the activity scenes and then going up to see Santa Claus. That was a thrill for us. It was just the most beautiful and amazing time for, if you can imagine, a little child.
My most vivid memory is as a parent. We would take our children.
I think I enjoyed it more, if not just as much as my children. Hudson's was part of our history.
It was just so exciting, because really going to the parade started the day before. Because you tried to go to bed at 9 o'clock because you knew you were going to get up at 5 a.m., you know, so you could get down there and get a good space. But you couldn't even fall asleep. You were just so excited.
There were just certain features of Detroit that, I mean, we have to take pride in. And a lot of times, because you grow up with it, you don't think it's as special as it really is until you move someplace else and you find out, oh my, you know, we had this and we had that. And the parade is certainly one of them. Hudson's was certainly, you know, will always have a special place in my heart. It kicks off with the Thanksgiving parade on Thanksgiving Day, and how many of us got up early in the morning to, you know, to see the floats march down Woodward Avenue along with the bands from various high schools around the state, and some came even from out of state to see the different floats and who sponsored the floats and who was on the floats, who was the Grand Marshal. I mean, all of those things. And people continue to come down, even though you can watch it on television, and I'm certainly glad you watched all those years, but you know, it's something to be there and to take part of it. And then when the sleigh with the reindeer and the man with the beard and, you know, with the getting the key to the city, when he made his way down Woodward Avenue, you knew that the holiday season was truly underway.
The first parade was in 1925. The 4 big parades in Philadelphia, New York, Detroit, and Toronto, Canada, those were the real giant, nationally renowned, or at least in North America renowned parades. Eaton's was the first in 1905. Philadelphia came along in 1920, and both the Macy's New York Parade and J.L. Hudson's, it was called the Children's Parade at the beginning, that started in 1925. Full-page ad in the paper. I guess Hudson's never really did anything small, so it was a great big parade, and that was really the beginnings for us, and it grew from there, became known as the Santa Parade, and then even now that we don't have Hudson's, it's carried on as one of those traditions that's inseparable from Detroit, really.
They began right at the old Burroughs plant, Amsterdam and 2nd Avenue. So went down 2nd Avenue to Cass Park, Elizabeth Street, on down to Woodward. And they had a big elephant in this one called Toto. And this was going to be a stuffed toy they were going to have on the 12th floor of Hudson. So they were putting a little promotional thing in there. And the crowds came out. It's about 150,000 people came out to see the first official parade in 25. It was a big event. So you had Santa. And you had Mother Goose, and Mother Goose will be in a parade like many, many years. And the old lady who lived in the shoe. I mean, so it was great. Costume marchers, bands. So it was really a good event, and people really enjoyed it.
The unique features of the Detroit parade were they had this long caterpillar-like creature that formed a part of the parade ever since it started. And in that full-page ad, you can see the thing there. It looked different over the years, but it started off as being called the Goozle Bug. And at some point, and it's not really clear, that they changed that to Doodlebug. And it changed its face over time. Some of the earlier ones kind of look frightening, I'd say. It wasn't meant, but they said that it would wind down the streets and wink at the kids that were lining Woodward Avenue. The other thing that was very, very unique were the giant heads that were unique to the Detroit parade, really. And what happened was that one of Hudson's display managers had an idea for these and had been in Italy and saw that that was a popular part of celebrations like Carnival and things like that in Italy.
There's a town called Viareggio, which is the papier-mâché capital of Europe, and they've been doing that since, the time of Medici. It's a tradition where they have a big bonfire and burn them at the end of every year. And the Hudsons brought in 10 to 12 a year and ultimately amassed the collection that's still in the parade today.
Hudson's employees were certainly a part of the parade. Everyone was invited. Did you want to volunteer, to be a part of the parade, with floats, dressing up as, clowns or characters, helping out at the warehouse, because the floats were all created and maintained at a warehouse on 4th Street and stored there for the rest of the year, too. Preparations for the parade would start immediately after each year's parade in terms of a theme. Would there be new floats? Would there be new papier-mâché heads? And typically there'd be several thousand employees helping guide floats, balloons, and of course months in preparation before the parade, helping out at the warehouse down on 4th Street, painting, fixing, working on costuming, things like that. And it was always a big treat. Also on parade morning, Mr. Hudson, Joseph L. Hudson Jr., would always make the rounds, saying hello to everyone and wishing everyone a happy holiday. That was always, special for people.
Well, they were asked to volunteer and become characters in the parade. So the ones that I've spoken with say that they would come down to the warehouse where everything was ready to go, and for their trouble and the cold weather, they would get either hot coffee or hot chocolate based on their age. And then they put on costumes and were able to walk down Woodward Avenue along with the floats or sit on the floats and actually participate in that as Hudsonians. Now, specifically, a couple of the people that I talked to said it was very cold most of the time, and they were in costumes that maybe had just leotards, so their legs were cold. It was a long, long walk for a lot of people. So, and they had to not just saunter down the street, but they had to animate themselves. They were told to smile and wave at kids so that the kids had a great experience of the parade. And so they said it was exhausting, but many of them said it was the most fun they ever had up to that time. So there really was a community spirit among the Hudsonians in there to participate in the play, and they enjoyed getting dressed up. It was like an extra Halloween.
It was like Hollywood, really, because all the local celebrities, you know, would be in the parade, people we would see on TV and radio, and, you know, folks who had other shows, and they'd just be there on the back of the cars, waving along and having a good time.
As a child, even local personalities were important, you know. But you also have to remember that that was also the same time as Motown. So we had the music of Motown and the artists of Motown that many lived in the neighborhood early on.
Hudson's, of course, sponsored and paid for everything regarding the parade from 1924 all the way up to around 1980 or so. By then, you know, it was costing between $1 and $2 million to produce the parade, and Hudson's reached out to additional sponsors, which then paved the way eventually for the parade to become its own nonprofit, America's Thanksgiving Day Parade Foundation.
I was part of the group that was founded at the tail end of when Hudson's was leaving. They were still here in town doing whatever they could to support us, but a nonprofit foundation was set up. The founding board members and city and state leaders that basically said, we need to save this thing. Hudson's was willing to do whatever they could to help, but it just seemed critically important to them that this not be one more thing the city loses. I think the most unique thing about this parade here was really what it meant to people. I was looking at it as a piece of artistic expression, and from board members to volunteers who showed up to help, just to hear the stories of what it really meant to them growing up.
It was cold. It was cold, and most of the time, even though our dad was Santa, and maybe should have offered us special privileges, we wanted to be in the throng of the people, and there were thousands of people lining the streets. We got there very early because he had to be there early. He kind of half-dressed into his suit and boots and belt, everything else, and only when he got there did he put on the rest of the beard and the white makeup and everything else. But because we got there early, we did get kind of a prime space on the streets, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful being with all the people. It was beautiful when his float finally arrived. We always felt excited, of course, and a little sigh of relief that he had made it to the end and was going to be brought up to the big platform where the mayor was waiting for him with the key to the city.
They had a lift, forklift, and would go towards Santa. And there was a platform. Santa would get on the platform, and then the lift would turn toward a stepping area where I could climb up some stairs and make it to the marquee to receive the key to the city from, usually it was Mayor Young. Well, on this one occasion, there's like a gap of about 4 feet between the platform and me. People are screaming and yelling and the bands are playing and nobody can hear me, so I'm yelling, "Don't move the lift, I'm gonna jump." So I jumped from the sleigh onto the platform. Everybody, whoa! And then the man looked up and he said, "What'd you say?"
Now, my aunt used to work at Hudson's downtown, so we would always stand in front of Hudson's. And that was just so great because once Santa got to the end, he and Christmas Carol would go up basically the ladder, and they're there on the ledge, and he'd just say, "Ho, ho, ho, welcome to Detroit, and ready for the best Christmas." And they'd both go inside the castle. You'd love it because it was like something out of a magical story. It seemed like the day after Thanksgiving, it always snowed. So you'd go there, you've got the snow all around, you've got the beautiful decorations, all the people are in there, and it was just a magical time.
I pretty much worked the store, but occasionally I would go ahead and be on the podium with Santa when they gave the keys to the hearts of the children, and Christmas Carol would accept that along with Santa.
We would get down early like everybody else, and we'd find our spot and stand there, and I remember seeing the excitement of seeing that first float coming down toward us, and it was just, again, it was just a fantastic experience.
I thought it was unbelievable that we had this huge Thanksgiving Day parade in Detroit, that in Michigan we were able to come down and watch again all of the different displays, Disney characters and other characters. I love the clowns, the various types of floats and the colors and so on. And of course, Santa Claus was always the last and the special float at the very end.
I had worked on the Thanksgiving parade for some time on the floats, including the Santa Claus sleigh. The Detroit News put in an article. They were rating Santas from across Metro Detroit, and I was voted Super Santa. So I was invited to audition with 4 other Santas. I had been doing Santas. They called me back for an audition. He said, before you come down, I don't want to see you. I want to hear, do you sound like Santa Claus? I want you to hear a great big ho, 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 and then come on down. So at the appropriate time, they said, okay, let her go with Santa. So I said, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Then I go down the steps. Then I walk over to the float. They said, okay, I want to see you walk around. Okay, you look good. Turn around. Okay, how would you react? Okay, emote a little bit. Yeah, come on down. So we'll call you back next week. We'll let you know one way or another. I got the job. And I remained there as their official Santa until the store's closure in downtown Detroit in 1983.
It was just so much fun. I mean, it was and still is one of the greatest holiday parades.
For many years, there were 50 windows on all 4 sides, Woodward, Gratiot, Grand River, and Farmer Street. And all of those windows were changed for many years, every week. In later years, not so much, but they still treated the windows, you know, with dignity and for the holidays. Up until probably the 70s, there were animated windows on the Woodward Avenue side. And that was always exciting for kids, you know, to see, you know, every year it was a different theme. And then, of course, on the sidewalk, under the canopy, too, you'd have a popcorn vendor, a caramel corn vendor, hot chestnut vendor, and even in later years, the Hare Krishna were even on the corner.
The window displays at Hudson's, I was amazed and in awe over. I mean, it really just blew me away. I think I would have spent hours there just looking and loving everything that I saw.
The highlight at the holidays was when we would all pile into the car at night when the lights were on, and the windows of the store had figures that moved and told stories. That was before the digital age where everything is moving and colorful, but in those days, that was exciting and magical.
Hudson's was famous for, I believe, the 60 windows that were part of the streetscape of downtown Detroit that they had that went all the way around the store. Now, in particular at Christmas, the Christmas windows that were put in there were very, very elaborate. They usually told a story. They would have a theme every year. There was, you know, Candyland theme, or, you know, later on when there were events, like one year Christmas was themed to Big Bird, who showed up in the parade there. So the windows would tie in one way or another with that theme. But given that the original J.L. Hudson was a very, very devout man, he always insisted that some part of the Christmas display had to show the Nativity, because that was really the foundation of the whole thing for him. And people shouldn't forget what the true foundation of the holiday was. All this other stuff was fun. So really his nephews and then his grandnephew, Joseph L. Hudson Jr., saw to it that that was carried on.
Decorating a window is a work of art. So you had to have a talent. And almost everybody, from the people who ran the elevators to they knew how to greet you and make you feel, well, hello, how are you, please? What floor would you like? I mean, it was that kind of atmosphere, so that you knew it was, may I help you? The store had a certain fragrance to it, and that was intentional, I'm sure, because they wanted you to feel good, and if you felt good, then you were certainly going to buy something. The way we shop today is so different. You know, people go online and they shop online. And when I was coming up, you know, department stores kind of let you know that the seasons were changing and that this was something special, and so you window shopped. And that was, you know, as rewarding sometimes as actually going into the store. But going into Hudson's was a treat. It was an experience. And I will never forget, you know, going in to shop for the very first time. I didn't just show up. My mom dressed us up, my grandparents dressed us up. We had a hat and a coat, you know, whether we put Vaseline on our patent leather shoes or not, I'm not sure, but we probably did, you know, so you had to look a certain way. And you felt like, oh, wow, this must be important, or why would we put so much effort into it? And it was something that we looked forward to.
You'd see the people with all the boxes and all the bags from, you know, Hudson's and other stores downtown, and it just looked like something out of a movie. It was a fantastic and beautiful time.
Even before you got into the store, you'd walk in front of it and see those windows that were just amazing, and you could even appreciate that as being a little kid as well. And then when you came in, it was just like what you see when you see like a movie involving the holidays or Christmas time. And so it was really special during the holidays.
Back in those days, they were a stickler for everything being perfect. If there was a patch of carpet that looked like it was worn, it was gone. My boss would have me take a group of the executives through every washroom in the whole building. And then, of course, I took shorthand and take notes about what needed to be fixed. And they were a real stickler for having everything looking its best.
One thing that Hudson's did that was different, they, at some point, and I believe it was under Brenda's leadership, came up with the idea of selling a whole tree, rather than having a department full of a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's up to you to make. If you wanted a tree that had a color to it or a theme, that you could just buy the whole thing at Hudson's, and they would bring it, set it up, and decorate your house really with it.
They would often change the decorations from year to year. So what they would do is they would give the employees the decorations from the year before. I had an aunt who worked at Hudson's. So we'd go over to her house and we're going, you just got the best looking tree. She's going, yeah, Hudson's.
Holidays at Hudson's here on this PBS station. Hey, Fred Nahat alongside Greg Russell. Nice to have you along with us. Much more of the film coming up. The sights, the sounds, the memories. Greg, this is Detroit.
It is. It really is. I mean, as a little boy who grew up going to Hudson's all the time at Christmas, this is like just the most fantastic movie I can watch. I mean, just thinking about the smells, the things you'd see there, the animated objects in the windows out front. That was Christmas.
Yeah, it's where nostalgia and history comes alive. Eric Longs, the filmmaker, will join us. You're going to be talking to him about this film. That's all on the way, but right now we would love to hear from you. Yes. Do not wait. Call, text, or click that number on the screen to give now in support of this PBS station.
Celebrating Detroit stories with a look back at Hudson's, the world-famous department store. Hi, I'm Lauren Smith, inviting you to support this PBS station so we can bring you more programming just like this. Join us now for as little as $6 a month as a sustainer, or $72 all at once, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, the film from Detroit filmmaker Eric Longs, exploring the magic of the store during the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 all at once, and we'll send you our special Holidays at Hudson's canvas tote, featuring the exterior of Hudson's decorated in holiday splendor, a perfect keepsake for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's, a 140-page collection filled with photos and images capturing Hudson's at the holidays. Make a gift of $20 a month or $240 for the year, and you'll receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection. The DVD, the tote bag, the book, plus a silver ornament depicting Hudson's decked out for the holidays, exclusive to this collection. Every gift also helps support the programs you love on this PBS station, so don't wait. Call the number on your screen or go online to give today.
The incredible memories of Hudson's at the holidays come shining through. You're immediately transported to that time and place, maybe your childhood, maybe your early adult years, exploring all that was downtown back then and can be again. More of this film coming up. In addition to that, the filmmaker, Eric Long's going to come in, join us. Greg Russell, we'll talk to him all about this film. That's on the way, but right now we would love to hear from you. When you make a gift of support at whatever giving level is best for you, you help empower this PBS station to tell more stories about this community, about the world around us, right here on Free PBS. Make that gift. Do not wait. Perfect time of the year to make sure public television can be strong in the year ahead. Easy to do. Call or go online to make that all-important gift of support to this PBS station right now.
Join us now for as little as $6 a month or $72 annually, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, Eric Long's film on the store at the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 and receive our special canvas tote featuring Hudson's decorated for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 annually and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's. Or give $20 a month or $240 and receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection, the DVD, tote, coffee table book, and a silver ornament showing Hudson's in holiday splendor. Call the number on your screen or go online to give and get your collection while supporting the programs you love on this PBS station.
And welcome back. We've been joined now by the filmmaker himself, Eric Longs. Eric, good to see you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I got to tell you, this is just such a great, heartwarming movie. Talk about what made you even want to do it.
Well, you know, I've been looking to do something about Detroit for a while. And a good friend of mine, the co-producer of the project, Mike Hauser, have known each other for years. And he is the expert on Hudson. So I thought, why don't we do a project on just Christmas time at Hudson? Just that small chunk of time. And that's how we came to this project. And it was just amazing, all the things that I've learned about Hudson's.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to say, this is a film that, you know, goes through all ages. I mean, seniors, middle-aged people, teenagers, young people will love this because even though a lot of them never made it to Hudson's, they can relive what we lived through by just watching this.
Right. And it's different now because we have in the age of Amazon, you know, we don't experience, the shopping experience isn't the same as it was when you went to Hudson's. Right. And they were really a trailblazer at the time. They were doing things like, even before Shopping Network, they had, you know, TV programs where they were selling different products and whatnot. And just their charitable giving across the years. I mean, I read in one story where during Christmas time, the fabric department created 6,000 dresses for the underprivileged in the community. So just the history of Hudson's is phenomenal.
And like I said, just a great film to watch. And so, hey, folks, like you said, continue to watch, continue to support. Eric, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Make a donation of just $60 a year or $5 a month as a sustaining member, and you'll unlock one of our most popular benefits, PBS Passport, available through the PBS app. With the PBS app, you can already enjoy free access to a wide variety of local and national PBS programs. But with Passport, your membership opens the door to so much more, including entire seasons of fan favorites, Passport exclusive shows, member-only concerts, special documentary features, and more. PBS Passport is our special thank you for your support. It comes automatically with your donation, along with any other gift you choose. From Masterpiece favorites to the complete Ken Burns collection, you can stream all your favorites anytime, anywhere. Just call or click to give $5 a month or $60 a year and start exploring with PBS Passport on the free PBS app today.
Oh, those things that are still alive in our minds and our hearts and our memories. And certainly Hudson's department store is one of those. Much more of this film coming up, but you should also count on much more content like this in the next year on this PBS station when you make a gift of support and you join us. The level, that's unimportant. There are a number of ways that we can say thank you for making your gift right now, but most importantly, it's creating this safe place for kids, for hope, for memories, for programs, for drama, for mystery, for news, and for science, right here on your PBS station. You make it happen. Viewers, just like you and me, making gifts on days like today around a pretty remarkable film from a pretty remarkable filmmaker. Holidays at Hudson's, only here on this PBS station.
Christmas time at Hudson's was just always the best because they just had everything really just so decorated up so nice. I mean, all the floors, not just the toys floor, but you know, the clothing part, the shoe department, everything else. It just looked like Christmas.
Everybody talks about the 12th floor in Hudson's downtown. It was Toyland and every kid's possible dream come true. It was beautiful. They just thought of every detail and to make, you know, a pleasant shopping experience at Christmas time.
To a child, it just looked like miles and miles of toys. My brothers would look at the erector sets. My sister and I would look at the dolls. A salesperson at every counter, and whatever we were looking for would be there.
Being on the 12th floor at Christmas time was just amazing. It was a magical land, a wonderland, and it was good for not just children, but for all of us who have that spirit of Christmas and brings us back to that youth that we all have.
The 12th floor, for not only employees, but also the public at large, that was, you know, the holy grail at Christmas time.
The floor was completely decorated in a Christmas wonderland. I mean, they had automated elves moving about, and they had the snow that was all over in the displays. You could really get into the spirit of Christmas. The 12th floor will just bring you back in time.
Now, there was also the children's only shop, which in the early years was on the 4th floor, later on moved up to 12. And this was a shop for children only. Adults were not allowed. And all of the counters and the showcases were scaled much smaller, you know, for children. And everything in this shop was priced accordingly, you know, 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Adults would have to sit in chairs outside the shop while the children shopped.
It was really fun to have something where I could go in and be on my own and be able to do something that was grown up, you know, to be able to purchase something for my parents. I always thought that was a really wonderful thing.
Growing up as a child, I was at the Christmas store for the children. They had a wonderful opportunity for you to walk through and purchase gifts for your parents.
On the Farmer Street side of the 12th floor also, there was a carnival for the kids too, with rides, you know, baby Ferris wheel, you know, there were even miniature ponies. And then there was also a restaurant.
Of course, now Hudson's was famous for its restaurants, and never saw more than at the holidays, when obviously they were decorated for the event and were a very nice place, but they had special holiday menus. And while they had their specialties, the Maurice salad, the cheese soup and all that during the year, I remember that they always pulled out the option to have a full-blown turkey dinner that was at a really, really good price. It was actually very, very good. You got a nice salad with these special crunchy croutons that they had, and a crispy French roll that came with the turkey dinner.
The restaurants were a treat. I remember my parents telling me that you need to try these few items on the menu because they're created and they're special to Hudson's.
We'd have lunch and my mom would have the Marie salad, and she'd always let us have the Mickey Mouse sundae for dessert.
Getting cheese soup and then this Marie salad. And when they'd order it the first time, I remember this distinctly that I'm not gonna like this. It's not a hamburger or a hot dog. But I remember getting it and I actually liked it. And from that point on, it was Marie salads and cheese soup, and they're still my favorite, and we still follow that recipe and eat those all the time.
Santa Bears represented hope. Santa Bears represented love and compassion for children. To hold the Santa Bears, to go to sleep with the Santa Bear, it was just special.
I started out as the fashion director for Contemporary, and because of the Santa Bear, I became the first woman vice president of fashion and marketing for the J.L. Hudson Company. I was in the English countryside, and I get a call from the president, and he said, "Brenda," he said, "Ken Monroe needs you in Germany." And we go to this center where there are over 100,000 square feet of Christmas from every part of the world. And I'm like dazzled. I had never seen so many beautiful Christmas decorations. At the time, the store was kind of boring. It was very traditional, red and green and plaid. And I said, "But look at, there's gold and there's silver and purple." I said, "Why didn't we ever have purple?" And then I saw these guys. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "I've never had a Christmas tree. I've never celebrated Christmas, but I want a Santa Bear, and I'm Jewish." I said, "We've got to have these little critters." And Ken said, "Let's make it really special." He said, "You can't buy a Santa Bear, but if someone buys $50 worth of Christmas, they get a Santa Bear, but you can't buy them. You have to buy $50 worth of Christmas to get a Santa Bear." And the Santa Bears came to Hudson's. The Christmas business had over a 300% increase over the year before. So of course I'm very grateful to the Santa Bears because that's how I became a vice president.
I'm a native Detroiter and frequented the Northland store. And that's where we had my mom and I shop, and my sister shop there. And we had this great opportunity to get these Santa Bears we did our Christmas shopping there anyway. And it just made you feel like you were something special happening, and it brought you into a sense of nostalgia even for your first purchase because it put you in the holiday spirit.
Santa Bear actually was something that my kids were more excited about than for me. And so we definitely collected the Santa Bears. There's no question about it. I'm sure I still have some at my house.
There was something special about them, and I'm hoping that, I know I'm not the only one that has all of them. If they had a resurgence, I would start again. I would collect more of the Santa Bears.
The Santa Bear was so well received at Hudson's. People just saw them and said, "Wow, they're just the kind of thing you want to like hug." So today, people have what they call like support dogs. For me, the Santa Bear was like that support that you could just feel the love. For me, it's been such an amazing connector to other communities. So now, 30 years later, when I'm involved in anything within the community, like working with the police and community, bringing those two groups together, I introduce myself as the mother of the Santa Bear. It gives me immediate credibility. They transfer the love they had of Santa Bears growing up to me, and I get big hugs from almost everyone in the room.
Christmas Carol was a character that was developed by the J.L. Hudson Company. And it's an interesting story that there was a young lady named Maureen Bailey, and she had come up with the idea for a Santa's helper, whose name was going to be Christmas Carol, and drew pictures of what Christmas Carol looked like. And she said, I want to take this downtown and show it to Hudson's because I think it's something that they should incorporate into their Christmas celebration. When she went downtown, she was hired on the spot by the advertising director at the time, and Christmas Carol became Santa's helper. Christmas Carol was a thing until the mid-70s or so.
The original Christmas Carol was Maureen Bailey, and she was the first back in, I guess, the early 50s. Then she moved on to New York to play Tinkerbell, and that's when I stepped in to be Christmas Carol. I was made for that role. I felt so comfortable bringing joy to everyone. As you see these smiles and the excitement of the kids with Santa. She kind of directed all the other elves to prepare the toys so they'd be ready for Santa on Christmas Eve. Santa's #1 elf at the North Pole.
I remember Christmas Carol because I wanted to be her. As my dad, Rube Weiss, had the gig of being Santa in the Hudson Parade for many years, it only seemed natural that I would be Christmas Carol and get to be on the float with him. I remember Sonny Elliott, who did kind of the play-by-play for Channel 4 for all the parades, as far as I remembered. He called her the girl with the patent leather hair and the patent leather shoes. And I thought she was beautiful. I admired Christmas Carol. I liked her shiny, shiny shoes and her shiny black hair and her big headband and her red dress.
Christmas Carol was always at the end of the parade, also with Santa to get the key to the city on the marquee. Christmas Carol was also the face on the little booklet that the kids would receive when they came to see Santa. Some years it may have been a coloring book, other years it would be some sort of a fantasy type story. But Christmas Carol was, of course, was the face of those little books.
And my own wife, her name is Carol, and she tells me she loves the Christmas holiday. Right around late October, early November, she says, now listen, that Carol you knew, she's gone. Until after Christmas, Christmas Carol is here, and you better behave yourself.
Hi, I'm one of the original Christmas carols from the J.L. Hudson department store, and I'm wearing the costume, the original costume from back in the 1970s. I'm delighted to do it each year. As long as I'm able, I will be doing Christmas Carol.
It's hard to truly put into words what it was like to be able to walk into a department store and see the possibility of what can be. And it fostered dreams. It nurtured that kind of creativity. It made you want more.
My first memory of going to Hudson's was this huge store and walking in with the Christmas decorations everywhere. And of course, I was aiming for Santa. I was trying to find Santa. That was the icing on the cake, to be able to have a chance to tell Santa, because I knew he then would be able to help me get what I wanted for Christmas.
My name is Rita Ross, and I was Santa's helper. Seeing the joy of all of the children, that one trip to see Santa at Hudson's and to be able to sit in his lap and tell him their wishes and what they want, it's a very magical thing.
You have to stay in character as long as you're portraying St. Nicholas, because if you don't, adults are disappointed. And the interesting thing, you can reach down into the hearts of an adult through their children. We represent a person that really has empathy, sensitivity, and is not judgmental, but listens, but with a compassionate heart and caring. You're not wearing a mask. It's got to come from the inside out. If you love people, if you cherish the dignity of each person, when I'm portraying this character, they drop their defenses and we're really engaging on a very deep level as human beings. It gave me a window into the hearts of a lot of people. What they need is a little Santa in their life.
Christmas at Hudson's was the real Christmas and the real Santa. I mean, that's how all kids felt. Because it was up there, I believe, what was it, the 12th floor? And they just turned it into beautiful Christmas land. I mean, it was almost like the setup in Christmas Story. I mean, Santa was up, all the elves were there, and it was just the coolest thing. You'd wait in line all day for that Santa. And you'd finally get in there, and there he was. I mean, he just looked jolly and was so happy to see you. You sat on his lap and told him everything you wanted. And again, you knew that if you told it to the Hudson Santa, you were gonna get it.
Hudson's was also one of the first stores in the country to offer guests a choice of Santa. You know, did you want a Caucasian Santa? Did you want an African-American Santa? Did you want a Hispanic Santa? So, I mean, children, and every year, about 250,000 kids would see Santa. They'd be lined up on floors, you know, to get to 12 to get there.
I was a kid, and I remember us going downtown to Hudson's because they had let it be known Hudson's was now going to have a black Santa. There were kids of all backgrounds waiting there to see him. Because if you were the Hudson Santa, you were the real deal. So I just remember getting in there, you see him, and it's like, wow. He's really gonna make sure I get the race car set I want. He's really gonna make sure I get all the other G.I. Joe toys and all like that. So yeah, you know, it was just fantastic. And then it seemed like after that, more and more stores, you know, began to do it the following seasons.
You know, I think I remember standing in line to see Santa, and certainly going up that escalator to the 12th floor and with my cousins, and holding my youngest cousin at the time. I was holding his hand, and he caught one glimpse of the man with the beard, dear, and he was ready to, like, we gotta go, you know. And I'm like, no, because I've got something I want to tell him. And, you know, I mean, that's one of my fondest memories.
They had 10 different Santas that would be working. I worked pretty much every day through the Christmas holidays, but those Santas weren't there every day. They would get dressed and get ready, and whoever was ready to do the next shift, that was the Santa I worked with. Maybe one day it would be Santa Clarence, and then maybe another day it would be a different Santa. I do remember a Santa Joe.
In Santa operations, it's very common to have two Santas at the same time. But many times you have problems. For example, on one occasion, the other Santa went to lunch. And all of a sudden, this little boy comes in, you know, and he's really excited. He's about 6 years old, cute little boy, 6 years old, and he gets on my knee, and oh, Santa. And what happens is, I felt this warm sensation on my right lap, and this mysterious liquid going down into my boot. Okay, so the helpers, oh no, not that. And then I said, I've got to switch pants. And all of a sudden I said, wait a minute, these are knickers, I'll turning them around. Now I'll have a wet spot under my left leg, but I'll have two dry knees, you know. So I switched them around, I sat down, next child comes in, and right down on the same knee. And they were spraying me with pine scent. I smelled like Sherwood Forest, you know, by the time this thing was done. And so we had this thing permanently on my leg. I had the case of the measles, I guess you call it.
I was a Santa Claus back in the late 70s. I just remember I was in my mid-20s. I was about 135 pounds, so they had to pad me up so I could look like Santa Claus. And at the end of the run, I had wound up losing 10 pounds, so that holiday season, I just sat at everybody's Christmas table just going, can I have some more? I need more, you know, just so I could get back up.
My mom and dad were professional actors. He was actually friends with the gentleman who did it before him. His name was Bob Leslie, and they asked my dad to take over. In all the 16 years that my dad played Santa Claus in the Hudson Parade, we watched from the streets along with everybody else. Where my dad came in and spoke to each one of the Hudson kids, and that was so special. He loved and believed that he was Santa on that day, Nobody could tell him different. And by the time the last part of his costume was on, he transformed. And even though the weather might have been inclement, and by the end of the parade he had icicles coming from his beard, he loved it.
To actually experience going down Woodward Avenue, 500,000 people are on each side of the street. It was a surreal, out-of-body experience. Looking back at the 1983 J.L. Hudson Parade, I realized it was the end of an era for Metro Detroit. It would never quite be the same ever again. And I felt a mixed sense of a bittersweetness, but also a sense of joy that I was given the privilege, really, of being the Santa image for J.L. Hudson Company for these years that I was with the parade.
Holidays at Hudson's here on this PBS station. More of the film coming up. Hi, Fred Nahat alongside Greg Russell. This is a remarkable film, and it must have been so exciting for you to be a participant, sharing your memories and remembering your time going there with your family.
Absolutely. I mean, that was just the biggest event, always. Like right after the Thanksgiving Day parade, next day, Mom would be down there. We'd be in this long line waiting to see Santa. But as the old saying goes in Detroit, no offense to the other stores, that was the real Santa.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the one. And he'd always have this long line, but you were all set to get up there and ask for your Kenner's Building set, your motorific torture track, your G.I. Joe, whatever. But you knew if you told him, it was going to work out.
Well, and we are very excited to have you line up and make your gift of support. There's a number of ways we can say thank you. More of the film just ahead. But right now, we would love to hear from you.
Yes.
Celebrating Detroit stories with a look back at Hudson's, the world-famous department store. Hi, I'm Lauren Smith, inviting you to support this PBS station so we can bring you more programming just like this. Join us now for as little as $6 a month as a sustainer, or $72 all at once, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, the film from Detroit filmmaker Eric Longs, exploring the magic of the store during the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 all at once, and we'll send you our special Holidays at Hudson's canvas tote, featuring the exterior of Hudson's decorated in holiday splendor, a perfect keepsake for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's, a 140-page collection filled with photos and images capturing Hudson's at the holidays. Make a gift of $20 a month or $240 for the year, and you'll receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection. The DVD, the tote bag, the book, plus a silver ornament depicting Hudson's decked out for the holidays, exclusive to this collection. Every gift also helps support the programs you love on this PBS station, so don't wait. Call the number on your screen or go online to give today.
Celebrating the season with you here on this PBS station with a wonderful seasonal programming, taking us back like a time machine to our childhood, to Hudson's, downtown, around Christmas time. This is the magic of public television, this PBS station, working with filmmakers like Eric Longs to replicate those experiences. And not only that, but provide additional insights and perspective that only time can help us provide through the lens of a terrific filmmaker. Greg Russell going to talk to Eric coming up here in our studio, but right now there's time for you to make a gift of support. Think about the DVD of this film, maybe that wonderful coffee table book, and an incredible tote with the front of Hudson's at the holidays, or maybe all of it with that silver ornament expressly made for you, the member of this PBS station.
Join us now for as little as $6 a month or $72 annually, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, Eric Long's film on the store at the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 and receive our special canvas tote featuring Hudson's decorated for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 annually and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's. Or give $20 a month or $240 and receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection, the DVD, tote, coffee table book, and a silver ornament showing Hudson's in holiday splendor. Call the number on your screen or go online to give and get your collection while supporting the programs you love on this PBS station.
And welcome back. We are here with filmmaker Eric Longs. Good to see you, Eric.
Good to be here.
Great film. I mean, this was such a wonderful walk back, down memory lane. Talk a little bit about putting it together and taking us along for the ride.
Well, any of us who grew up in that time period when Hudson's was open in downtown Detroit, we each all have our own individual memories. So my idea was that I wanted to create a film that kind of basically jarred your memory. And it's like, oh, I remember going to see Santa and What a Family. I remember going through and going to see Toyland and picking out our toys and all those great experiences. It's a period of time where, it's not the same. The shopping experience isn't the same anymore. However, I mean, we have an amazing growth going on in the city of Detroit downtown. There's all of these wonderful new opportunities for shopping, and we've got the brand new Hudson's building downtown that's just recently opened. So there's a lot of excitement around the downtown area. That's back again.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much. More coming up with Eric in a little bit.
Make a donation of just $60 a year or $5 a month as a sustaining member, and you'll unlock one of our most popular benefits, PBS Passport, available through the PBS app. With the PBS app, you can already enjoy free access to a wide variety of local and national PBS programs. But with Passport, your membership opens the door to so much more, including entire seasons of fan favorites, Passport exclusive shows, member-only concerts, special documentary features, and more. PBS Passport is our special thank you for your support. It comes automatically with your donation, along with any other gift you choose. From Masterpiece favorites to the complete Ken Burns collection, you can stream all your favorites anytime, anywhere. Just call or click to give $5 a month or $60 a year and start exploring with PBS Passport on the free PBS app today.
For those of us who grew up around Detroit, there was nothing like Hudson's at the holidays. I can still remember walking through those doors, the lights, the windows, the smell of roasted nuts. It was just Christmas. Now, when you join this PBS station for as little as $6 a month or $72 annually, we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, Eric Long's wonderful film that brings all those memories back to life. Give $8 a month or $96, and you'll also receive our special canvas tote featuring Hudson's decked out for the season. At $12 a month or $144 annually, you'll receive the beautiful coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's. It's filled with photos and stories that'll take you right back. Or join for $20 a month or $240 and receive the full Holiday at Hudson's collection, the DVD, the tote, the coffee table book, and a silver ornament capturing Hudson's in all of its holiday glory. Call the number on your screen or go online, and hey, let's relive the magic of Hudson's while supporting the programs you love on this PBS station.
You've probably heard us talk about becoming a PBS sustaining member, and here's why it matters. It's one of the easiest and most impactful ways you can support this station. Just choose a monthly amount that works for you, $5, $10 or more, and your contribution continues automatically month after month. No renewals to remember, no checks to mail, just ongoing support that helps us plan ahead and keep bringing you the programs you count on. It only takes a minute to sign up, so go to our website or call the number on your screen and say, I want to become a sustainer. Join the thousands of viewers already making a difference. Become a sustaining member today.
More of the film just ahead, but this reminder, make that gift of support right now. We would love to send you the filmmaker's director's cut version of Holidays at Hudson's on DVD, little as $6 a month, ongoing as a monthly sustainer, or $72 all at once. Make that gift of support right now if that giving level is best for you. If you'd like to make a gift at $8 a month as a sustainer or $96 all at once, this brand new fashionable tote bag. The tote bag was the original thank you gift from this PBS station. We're hauling it out of the vault, and the filmmaker is providing this limited edition, exclusive to you, Holidays at Hudson's tote as our way of saying thank you, and you've done your part. Well, if you can't get enough of the images, maybe from the film, and in your mind and in your memory, we've got one thing that you cannot do without, and that is the Christmas Time at Hudson's coffee table book filled with photographs right from your childhood or maybe your young adulthood, taking your kids to Hudson's. All those years ago, $144 gift of support, or $12 a month, ongoing as a monthly sustainer. Or if you just can't decide and you want our holiday collection from the filmmaker, Eric Long's, he's providing the director's cut version of the DVD, the all-new exclusive holiday tote, the coffee table book, plus specially crafted for you, the PBS member, a silver holiday ornament with the facade of the original downtown Hudson's. All for you. $20 a month ongoing as a monthly sustainer, or $240 all at once. Do not wait. Call, text, or click to give now and help us make more historical documentaries possible, more memories for all of us to share on this PBS station.
If you've already made a gift this year, thank you so much. We're truly grateful for your support and appreciate every single one of our members. Your generosity is one of the most important parts of our funding, and it helps keep this station strong and accessible for everyone in our community. If you haven't made a gift yet this year, or if you've never given before, now is the perfect time. Your support ensures that this PBS station can continue to bring trusted news, educational programs for our little ones, and inspiring stories to viewers of all ages. So please don't wait. Call the number on your screen or go online to give. And to all of our viewers and supporters, thank you for being a part of our PBS family.
Hudson seemed to go the extra mile to set up a wonderful, magical wonderland, and it made it so special.
I'm telling you, it was a phenomenal department store. I cried when they closed that Hudson store. I wanted to protest because that was, to me, was the heart of Detroit.
Well, the building for me took on this like human quality, okay? And if you could associate that with a person, it'd be like somebody that was very important in your life that represented something that's very good in your life. And unfortunately, it's like you find out that there's nothing that could be done. It's gonna go away.
The sadness that I felt seeing the Grand Dame come down, and I'm glad that I have the memories preserved forever, because that was a sad day and the end of an era. I just don't think there's anything quite like Hudson's then to compare or now.
I took my boys downtown. We made sure we had a great vantage point a couple blocks away up in a building where you could just literally look right at it. And of course they ticked off the timing so you knew like, hey, 1 hour, a few minutes and whatever. And what went through me is like that human quality, and you just felt really bad for this. It's like I'm watching something literally important literally die. And there's nothing I can do about it other than watch. And everybody, I remember there might have been 100 people in that room. It got so quiet. And then as it started coming down, you'd hear a few people just go, oh my God. And that's exactly how you felt, watching it just crumble to the ground and go, what a shame.
They'll never build anything like that again. And that's the part that makes it difficult to say, well, it had to be removed. It had to go away, because they don't build buildings like that anymore. And Detroit architecturally had some of the finest buildings in the country. We had the finest stock of houses in the country. And, I didn't see all of the various, architectural gems that made the city what it is, but some of them are left. And you go, wow, What happened to them? Well, they tore them down. You know, tearing things down is something that's easy to do. Holding on to them, even when you're not sure what role they're going to play in their next life, but at least they're there. You've got the bones. So if there's anything that we need to not continue to do, is to tear down things we can't build again.
It was hard to watch the Hudson going down. I thought of all of my childhood memories and what an iconic building, what it stood for. For me, it was about family. You know, it was about celebrating the holidays. It was about celebrating this awesome city called Detroit that was the highlight of my holiday season every year. And so it was sad to see that.
It was very emotional. It was such a big part of our childhood. My parents grew up in Detroit, walked those streets, shopped at Hudson's in their formative years. It was a connection that I had to my parents, to old Detroit. It was the end of an era when that building came down. And it's just Woodward Avenue at that spot. It's not quite the same for me, but it'll always be in my heart, and I'll treasure those memories always.
There's a lot of hope, a lot of optimism, a lot of reasons to feel good about what's going on in Detroit right now.
Frankly, I'm so thrilled that we've been able to maintain the Thanksgiving Day Parade, keep that going. I'm now bringing my adult son and daughter and their families and my 5 grandkids to Detroit. We go to the tree lighting ceremony. We come downtown. I show them the incredible things that are going on in Detroit that's so exciting, so many things for kids, the beautiful holiday lights, but year-round, really exciting things that are happening here in Detroit.
When the Hudson's department store was demolished in 1998, it left a hole in the fabric along Woodward Avenue. And when we were approaching the design of the project, it was really important that not only were we bringing activation and excitement to the site, but we were stitching that fabric back together, you know, emotionally filling that void, if you will. As we were designing the building, one of the big moves that we made was, rather than taking the whole city block and extruding it up as one massive building the way the Hudson's department store was, we just created a public space in the center. We shifted the buildings back to create this town square, which we see as sort of the civic heart of the project. And in the same way that Hudson's Detroit was a gathering place for people, especially during the holiday season, we see this amazing public space, this sort of civic plaza, as the place that everyone will come, congregate, and enjoy Detroit at the holidays. We wanted to make it iconic. And, you know, iconic means a lot of things. And we certainly took cues from Detroit architecture to kind of make the building feel of the city. But it was as important, or even more important for us, that it's iconic in its experiences, so that, you know, you'll have memories at Hudson's. We're paying homage to the building in a number of ways. We're hanging a large flag on the side of the building, which is reminiscent of the flag that was at Hudson's originally, at the time one of the largest flags in the world, as well as creating a bespoke holiday bear. Our retailers will be outfitting their windows with holiday displays that harken back to the original Hudson's department store, as well as a partnership that we have with the Detroit Historical Society to showcase artifacts from the original building in a very beautiful display as well. Hudson's department store was such a destination for family and loved ones during the holidays, and so I hope that we're creating a new set of memories that will take Detroit into the future.
Knowing that the city of Detroit deserves projects of this nature, it's one of its kind, and you would fail to see projects of this magnitude happening in a lot of other cities around the country. And so I'm really proud of it. I think it's beautiful, and it shows that we can do amazing things, and it's providing a lot of energy and activity downtown. So it's pretty cool. I think the family really enjoys the fact that the Hudson building is coming back. when it was demolished. I think there was a lot of sadness about that, but to see it, rise up again and even bigger and better, I think they think it's a really cool project, and they're excited about it.
Joe Hudson thought and felt and offered his leadership to work with the community to see about what can we do as a city. Could we come back? And we did. I mean, you got a lot of things that are downtown and more coming. It's a bright future.
Such a wonderful time in our PBS time machine, transporting us back to the original Holidays at Hudson's. What a film,
sure.
what an experience. Fred Nahat, along with Greg Russell, this was incredible.
It was. I get chills every time I watch it. Tonight, I really enjoyed watching with you. Get that nice warm feeling.
Yeah, and we have one more conversation with the filmmaker just ahead. There's some wonderful ways for us to say thank you when you make a gift to support this PBS station. Let us hear from you right now.
Celebrating Detroit stories with a look back at Hudson's, the world-famous department store. Hi, I'm Lauren Smith, inviting you to support this PBS station so we can bring you more programming just like this. Join us now for as little as $6 a month as a sustainer, or $72 all at once, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, the film from Detroit filmmaker Eric Longs, exploring the magic of the store during the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 all at once, and we'll send you our special Holidays at Hudson's canvas tote, featuring the exterior of Hudson's decorated in holiday splendor, a perfect keepsake for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's, a 140-page collection filled with photos and images capturing Hudson's at the holidays. Make a gift of $20 a month or $240 for the year, and you'll receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection, the DVD, the tote bag, the book, plus a silver ornament depicting Hudson's decked out for the holidays, exclusive to this collection. Every gift also helps support the programs you love on this PBS station, so don't wait. Call the number on your screen or go online to give today.
Celebrating the season with you here on this PBS station with a wonderful seasonal programming, taking us back like a time machine to our childhood, to Hudson's, downtown, around Christmas time. This is the magic of public television, this PBS station, working with filmmakers like Eric Longs to replicate those experiences, and not only that, but provide additional insights and perspective that only time can help us provide through the lens of a terrific filmmaker. Greg Russell going to talk to Eric coming up here in our studio, but right now there's time for you to make a gift of support. Think about the DVD of this film, maybe that wonderful coffee table book, and an incredible tote with the front of Hudson's at the holidays, or maybe all of it with that silver ornament expressly made for you, the member of this PBS station.
Join us now for as little as $6 a month or $72 annually, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, Eric Long's film on the store at the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 and receive our special canvas tote featuring Hudson's decorated for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 annually and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's. Or give $20 a month or $240 and receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection, the DVD, tote, coffee table book, and a silver ornament showing Hudson's in holiday splendor. Call the number on your screen or go online to give and get your collection while supporting the programs you love on this PBS station.
You know, all my 30-plus years here at this PBS station, there has never been a member benefit more popular than PBS Passport. And that is our foray into streaming all of our programs. If you look wherever you stream television for that logo, the PBS app, click on that. That's free to everyone. Content from last week and the week before, selected content free to all Americans. That's why we're here. That's what we do. But when you join us at $5 a month or more, in addition to any other thank you gift you choose, you have access to a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport. That, in addition to the free programming, you'll get thousands of hours, hundreds of choices, complete seasons and series and specials just for you when you join us. It's our way of keeping you connected with streaming programs and all that we do locally and the best of PBS all year long. Join us right now. $5 a month or more gets you that 1-year subscription to Passport.
Hudson's has always been a close part of my family story, and I know it's the same for so many across Metro Detroit. For millions of families, the holidays weren't complete without a trip downtown to see the store, the windows, the lights, the music, and it was part of the rhythm of the season. Holidays at Hudson's captures all that magic, bringing to life a piece of Detroit that holds memories for generations. When you give to this PBS station, you help preserve these stories, supporting programs and documentaries that celebrate our city's past and keep its history alive. And as a member, you'll also enjoy PBS Passport, our on-demand streaming library with hundreds of hours of films, documentaries, and local programs to explore anytime. Make your gift tonight and take home a piece of that history with our Holidays at Hudson's thank you gifts, the DVD, the tote, the coffee table book, and the silver ornament. Keep history alive. Call the number on your screen or go online to give at this PBS station.
And we are back with filmmaker Eric Long's Holidays at Hudson's. Eric, thank you so much for taking us on this great journey. Got to tell you that, man. It was so much fun.
Thank you.
And I know you've got some other things that are coming up for you. What can the folks who are watching on the PBS station do to help you continue on your journey of bringing out these beautiful stories?
For one, continue to support the great programs on public television. Nobody can tell a story like the folks at public television. So to continue that support is really paramount. Kind of like the theme for our production company is telling the stories of Detroit and beyond. So we just have so many great stories, so many untold stories around the state of Michigan that need to be told. Yes. And nobody can tell them like PBS. And through your support, we're able to do that.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to the next journey. It's always a lot of fun. Thanks so much, Eric.
Thank you.
All right.
Celebrating Detroit stories with a look back at Hudson's, the world-famous department store. Hi, I'm Lauren Smith, inviting you to support this PBS station so we can bring you more programming just like this. Join us now for as little as $6 a month as a sustainer or $72 all at once, and we'll thank you with your own DVD copy of Holidays at Hudson's, the film from Detroit filmmaker Eric Long's, exploring the magic of the store during the holidays. Give $8 a month or $96 all at once, and we'll send you our special Holidays at Hudson's canvas tote, featuring the exterior of Hudson's decorated in holiday splendor, a perfect keepsake for the season. Or give $12 a month or $144 and receive the all-new coffee table book, Christmas Time at Hudson's, a 140-page collection filled with photos and images capturing Hudson's at the holidays. Make a gift of $20 a month or $240 for the year, and you'll receive the full Holidays at Hudson's collection. The DVD, the tote bag, the book, plus a silver ornament depicting Hudson's decked out for the holidays, exclusive to this collection. Every gift also helps support the programs you love on this PBS station, so don't wait. Call the number on your screen or go online to give today.
Well, as we come to the end of our time together, it reminds me, as always, how valuable time really is and how you can't get it back once it's gone. And the next best thing is these historical documentaries here on this PBS station. You make all of it possible. Help us to do more of this in the year ahead by making a gift of support. And now this final reminder, if you want the director's cut version on DVD. We have that for you, $6 a month, ongoing as a monthly sustainer, or $72 all at once. We also have, as our way of saying thank you, the holiday tote. This should bring back memories as a member of public television, but also that beautiful shot of the Christmas tree outside of Hudson's. $8 a month as a sustainer, $96 all at once, if that is right for you. This may be the best thing for you. $12 a month ongoing as a monthly sustainer, or $144 right now. The filmmaker has put together an incredible collection inside a coffee table book. More photos, more memories, more images for you when you make that gift. Or if you just can't decide, we have the holiday combo. Includes the director's cut DVD, that tote bag, the coffee table book, plus expressly created for you, exclusive to members of this PBS station, the silver holiday ornament with Hudson's, the facade, and a nice message just for you. Well, I want to have you join us by making a gift. And let me also say, Greg Russell, thanks for hanging out with us. What an incredible experience this film has been.
This was a ball, absolute ball. I enjoyed watching it again. I enjoyed being here with you. And yeah, this is just great. Just keep it going. Like I said, bringing back so many fabulous memories. I'm going to watch it again when I go home.
That's terrific. Listen, your conversations with the filmmaker really added to the experience that we love. If you love this PBS station, well, don't wait any longer. Time's running out. Call, text, or go online to give right now. And thank you.
Ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy is jolly Santa Claus. Yes, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy. That's why I'm Saint Nicholas. The Christmas spirit Saint Nicholas shares, the joy, the peace, and love are fruits of the Holy Spirit come down from heaven above. So we'll be ho, ho, holy, 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 like jolly Santa Claus. Yes, ho, ho, holy, 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 like jolly Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas!
Funding for this program is provided by Henry Ford College Foundation, empowering students, expanding access, enriching our community. And by Rebel Nell, preserving Detroit history by creating jewelry from authentic Hudson's bags. Learn more at rebelnell.com. And by Central Michigan University. CMU is the place to pursue your passion and prepare for your future. And by the Detroit Historical Society, which is proud to feature artifacts from Detroit's beloved department store at the Detroit Historical Museum. And by contributions to this PBS station by viewers like you. Thank you.
Tonight on Detroit PBS, 9 p.m., Holiday at Hudson's. 10:30 p.m., Memory Makeover with Daniel Amen, MD.
2, 3, and 1.
James Brown.
George Clinton.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Funk is something that takes you over.
A history that goes back to the spiritual.
Funk got the whole world dancing. You certainly couldn't contain it culturally, and you couldn't contain it geographically either.
Funk is the DNA for hip-hop. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Lose yourself in it, and that was the thing.
Saturday at 8 p.m.
If you don't drive it, donate it and support something you use every day.
Christmas is my favorite time of year, and the real highlight is the food.
That is delicious.
Oh, Mary.
With my tips on planning, that's yet another job done. And what to cook. I promise you it works. You just trust me.
Just fabulous.
This is my ultimate guide to the most delicious Christmas ever. Absolutely scrumptious.
Sometimes communication went through song, and doors were open because of the music. My family, the Jordans, the Cunninghams, the Peoples, they were all people who sang through whatever they worked through at that time. And we're talking about sharecropping in the fields in the South, Mississippi, Arkansas, Monroe, Louisiana, Bastrop, Louisiana, and those songs stuck and they're in the family. They did a lot of quartet gospel, a lot of a cappella gospel, yes, and jazz. My granddad also learned to play the drums once he moved up to Detroit. So he played with a few jazz combos. And my father went on to sing with the Rod Lumpkin Trio. His name is Leslie Cunningham. And so he had an extensive jazz background right here in Detroit, singing at like the legendary Baker's Keyboard Lounge, some of the other venues, the 20 Grand, the West Grand. When you talk about the opportunities that came from Black Bottom and from Baker's Keyboard Lounge, you got to understand that was maverick time. They were paving the way. This was a time when African Americans, there was a struggle in place, but there was also a strong community. And so sometimes communication went through song, and doors were open because of the music, and because music is universal for all. Everybody hears you, and sometimes you can get your message across while you're on stage performing.
The PBS Books Readers Club is celebrating our favorite books of 2025.
We're taking a look back at the unforgettable moments from this year's authors' interviews, surprising stories and plenty of inspiration. Plus, we'll reveal our favorite books from the past year.
Tune in November 28th for our special year-end episode. Follow PBS Books on Facebook to stay up to date on our latest events, and subscribe to PBS Books on YouTube and watch previous episodes.
Everyone's so happy you're home, darling.
Come inside.
It's just so exciting.